everybody. It is April 30th, and today we are really focused on two really important skills. We are determining if a relationship is proportional from a table as well as from a graph. Today is our last chance to practice our proportional relationship skills, and then by the end of the video, I'll just review what we've gone over this week. And your independent practice today is your quiz for the week. So I'm really excited to see how you're going to do. We've had an excellent accuracy recently. Our average for many questions, especially things like find the constant of proportionality from the table, have averages in the 80%. So 80% of us, 85% of us have been getting those kind of questions correct. So really, really nice job, 7th grade. I'm excited to see that color wheel on your quiz for today. Let's go ahead and review a little bit. You've seen this picture a lot of times. There are a few updates that I want to share with you. We know that a relationship is proportional if the relationship between x and y is constant. Constant means the same. Constant means for every ratio, and it contains the point 0, 0. So looking at this ratio table here, we've already decided this is a proportional relationship. I can see that every relationship between x and y is constant. So every ratio in the table has that factor of 3, taking us from x to y. So the constant of proportionality is the same throughout the entire table. It also contains the point 0, 0. Do you see the point 0, 0 in this table? No, it's not there. So why is it proportional? Go ahead and imagine for a minute that I put 0 on this side of the table, on the left side. I would take that 0 times 3, and what would I get? 0 times 3 is 0. So even though the point 0, 0 is not included, it's not written here, we could follow the same rule times 3 and get the point 0, 0. So even though 0, 0 isn't listed explicitly, it does appear in this relationship because 0 times 3 is 0. Okay, that's true for any relationship that's in this form, y equals kx. So if I want to determine if something is proportional from a table, that's goal number 1 today, I'm going to check the COP and make sure it's the same for every row. I've got to check all of them. If I don't check them all, I might miss the one that's different, okay? If I want to check that a relationship is proportional from a graph, there's 2 things I'm going to look for. How many things? 2 things. I'm going to check if it is straight. We also call that linear. We call it, so if the line is straight, that's good. And this other thing has to be true. We also need to pass through the point 0, 0, okay? So a straight line on a graph is a constant rate for my relationship, and the point 0, 0 is that point of origin. So if I'm looking at a graph, I'm looking for those 2 things. We're going to do some guided practice with both of these, but before we go, I want to do a quick check of our graphing skills. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up, yes, this is proportional, or thumbs down, no, it is not. This is a graph, so we want to look for, is it straight, and does it pass through the point 0, 0, which is the point of origin? Yes, this is proportional. What about this one? Thumbs up, yes, it's proportional. Thumbs up, thumbs down, no, it's not. No, this is not proportional. This one is straight, but it does not pass through the point 0, 0, which is covered up by my little bar here, but it does not pass through that point. It passes through the point 0, 3, so not proportional. What about this one? Which of these are proportional? Go ahead and show on your fingers, is one of these proportional? Are 2 of them proportional, or are 3 of them proportional? Yep, just one. That blue graph, the blue line is proportional. It's straight and passes through the origin. The others are straight, but they do not pass through the origin, so the others are not proportional. What about these last ones? Which of these are proportional? Yep, the purple is proportional and the green is proportional. Both are straight and both pass through the point of origin. The blue line is not proportional. It is not straight and it also does not pass through the origin. It has to have both of those things, okay? All right, let's go ahead and dive into some guided practice today. Starting with question 1. Question 1, does the table below represent a proportional relationship between X and Y? Okay, go ahead and make sure you have notes set up like I do. And this kind of question is a lot easier, I think, if you're given a classwork, then you can just mark up the table. But unfortunately, I can't give you a packet because we are learning remotely. So how do we show our work here? I think what makes sense is to first look at the table, and maybe you can find the COP really easily. I'm not sure 4 times equals 3. I don't know. 8 times equals 7. I'm not sure. Maybe you already have an idea. You're seeing a pattern here showing you if is or is not proportional. I want to show you a way to write that down on your paper. So let's go ahead and write down y divided by x. That's going to give me the COP every time. So let's do that for the first ratio in my table. The y is 3 divided by, the x is 4. 3 divided by 4 is 0 and 75 hundredths. Let's check the second row. The y coordinate is 7. The x coordinate is 8. Ooh. That is not 0 and 75 hundredths. That is 0 and 875 thousandths. So I was trying to find the COP, and what I found is that the factor on the first ratio and the second ratio are different from each other. So this shows me that this is not I'm going to put PR for proportional relationship. I'm going to be writing that a bunch today, so go ahead and take that shortcut if you'd like. Okay, number 1 is no. Okay, number 1 is in your Google form today, so go ahead and scroll down now and enter the answer for number 1. Awesome, now I want you to try it. All right, I'm going to give you a minute to answer this question. Go ahead and try to show your work on your paper, just like you would if you're taking your quiz today. 1 minute, go. It's okay to use a calculator on this question. Feel free to do that. Last few seconds, go ahead and decide, is this proportional or not proportional? Okay, if it is proportional, you should have been able to tell me what the constant of proportionality is. If it's not proportional, then the constant of proportionality doesn't really exist. There's no constant because it changes throughout the relationship, okay? If you need more time, please pause here. All right, here is my work for question 2. Okay, so I still decided to do y divided by x for every ratio in the table. The table was turned a different way on this problem, but still I'm going to take the y divided by the x for all the ratios in the table. Please make sure on your paper you have all 4 ratios from the table shown. I can tell that 2.5 is the factor that takes me from x to y for every single ratio. So 2.5 is the constant of proportionality. Yes, it's a proportional relationship because that number is the same for every ratio in the table. Okay. For number one, that that factor is not the same for every ratio in the table. The first two were different. So notice how on number one I stopped and I didn't keep going. That's because I already knew it wasn't proportional. So there's no need to do the rest of them. This one, however, I did need to do all of them. Why did I need to do all of them for number two? Yeah, if I want to check it's proportional, I have to show that every ratio has the same factor. So I have to check them all. Okay, let's try the next one. This one is proportional. All right, question 3 has 4 answer choices. I can't show them all to you at the same time, so I'm just going to give you 1 minute to think about A and B, and then we'll do 1 more minute for C and D after, okay? Which of the following represents a proportional relationship? We are going to select all that apply, so I'm looking for possibly more than one answer here, okay? 1 minute starts now. Go. We're about halfway through our time. Remember that y divided by x trick is a good one to use here. Go ahead and decide if A is true or false, and if B is true or false. All right. So I stopped a little bit early because I wanted to show you something, so bear with me. Here is 3A. I did my y divided by x for every ratio in the table. And that division, if you used a calculator, you would have had 0.33333 until your calculator screen ended. I know that I'm visualizing actually in my head 5 over 15, and I can simplify that to 1/3. 7 over 21, simplified to 1/3. You could write out all those steps. It's just important to have a fully simplified answer, right? You may have also noticed that to get from the left side of the table x to y, you could just divide by 3 every time. Note that dividing by 3 is the same as multiplying by 1/3. Okay, so 3 is a proportional relationship. Put a star on your paper if you got it. Nice work. Let's talk about B. What do you think about B? Is B proportional or not? If you said not proportional, I'm wondering why, because my COP was the same for these two ratios. Yep, I am sure you got it, team, even though the first two ratios in the table have the same COP, I'm going to go ahead and keep going. My third ratio was 32 divided by 8 equals 4. And my last was 36 divided by 12. Oh, does that equal 4? No, don't get tricked. This one's different. So B is not a proportional relationship. Tricky. All right, I'm going to select A but not B. Let's take a look at C and D. Go ahead and take 1 minute to consider those. Make sure you're showing all that great work on your paper. Oops. Again, it's okay to use a calculator. I just caught myself making a division mistake. So don't go too fast. Slow down if you need to. All right, folks, there's our time. So you should have decided, is C and D a proportional relationship? Okay, let's take a look. Here's my results for C and D. That was my division mistake. Sorry, team. Cool. Go ahead and put a star next to C if you got it correct, that it was proportional. And put a star next to D if you got that right, that it was not proportional. The COP is not the same. Oops, I forgot to finish that one. 11 divided by 5 does not equal 2, like the others, so it's not proportional. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and select C for question 3. Okay. Let's keep going. So what we've done so far is we've looked at the first half of our goal today, which was identify if a relationship is proportional from a ratio table. Now we're going to look at graphs and determine if a relationship is proportional. Okay, here's question 4. How many proportional graphs are shown in the x and y coordinate plane below? This basically means how many of these lines or of these relationships graphed are proportional. So remember your two requirements for a relationship that's proportional on a graph. Okay, go ahead and identify the correct answer out of these answer choices. Let's take a minute so that you have time to read. Time starts now. Last 15 seconds. Please read those answer choices really carefully. All right. When I'm looking at this graph, I'm going to look at just one at a time, and it helps to kind of trace it with your finger on your computer screen, or I'm going to use my mouse here. This purple line does cross through 0, 0, and it is straight. So yes, that one's proportional. This blue one starts here at the point 0, 2, and it is curved. So that's not proportional. And the green one does start here. It contains the point of origin and it is straight. So yes, it's proportional. So I see two proportional relationships. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and eliminate the answers that don't make sense. 0 is wrong, 1 is wrong, 3 is wrong. So answer choice C and D both have two proportional graphs shown. Let's look at the reason. C says both graphs are straight and start at 0, 0. That sounds right. E says both graphs start at 0, 0 and don't touch. That's totally irrelevant. They can touch, no problem. So I'm going to go ahead and select C as my correct answer. C as my correct answer. Okay. On my paper, all that I put was that there are two proportional relationships. They are straight and they contain the point of origin. That's all I added. Okay. All right, last one, question 5. All right, this is going to be rapid fire, okay, because I have to scroll so much. So on question 5, I want you to identify which of these graphs represent a proportional relationship between x and y. We're going to say, yes, that one's proportional, or no, it's not. On your paper, let's see, I think we have A through F. So let's go ahead and set it up. That way you can write your notes as we're going, because this one's in your Google form, okay? So question 5, let's go ahead and add A through F. So what I want you to do as we're working is add in proportional or not proportional for all of these. That way you can go in and answer the Google form question. Okay, here we go. A, what do you think? Proportional or not proportional? You got it. This is not proportional. I'll show you what I'm doing on my paper. This one is not proportional. I'm just going to put not PR. The reason is because it's not straight. It has that sort of, it looks kind of bumpy. It went up and down and up and down. If I connected all those points from left to right, I would not get a straight line. Okay, let's try again. So I'm gonna go ahead and not select A. B, what do you think? Is it proportional or not proportional? Yes, this one is proportional. So next to B, I'm just going to put PR for proportional relationship. It is straight, and it would continue if we went backwards. This one is on track to go through the point 0, 0. So even though the dot is not there, if I connected these lines, I would go over 0, 0. So 0, 0 is a part of this relationship. It's just not plotted, okay? So B, yes. Let's look at C. Is this proportional? You know what helps me is if you have your, maybe your notes and you kind of hold it up to the computer screen. I can't show you, but if you hold it up to the computer screen, you can see if it makes a straight line. That is always helpful. Did you do that? Okay, what do you think? Is C proportional or not? Yes, this one is proportional. The reason why is because if I put my paper over, it is a straight line. I can also tell that by counting boxes. So watch my mouse. If I start maybe at this point and I go over 1 and down 3 boxes, then I'd have to do that same pattern over and over again. So over 1, down 3. Yep. Over 1, down 3, and look, I land on 0, 0. So yes, this is proportional. It's on track to include 0, 0, and it is straight. So next to C on your paper, go ahead and put proportional relationship. Cool, let's look at the next one. What do you think? No way, not proportional. This is not a proportional relationship. I think it would be if it did not have this dot way over here. This is part of the graph. If I graph this from left to right, it would go way down at the end, which is not proportional. Okay, so I'm going to not select D. What about E? What do you think? Awesome. I expect probably some of you said yes, it's proportional, and some of you said no, it's not. Can you hold up something straight, the edge of a paper, or an index card, or even your pencil? Does it look straight? It does look straight. Does it pass through 0, 0? Let's see. I'm going to use that same kind of strategy. I'm going to go over 1 box and down half a box. Over 1 box, down half. Over 1, down half. Over 1, down half. I'm going to keep going. You ready? Over 1, down half. Over 1, down half. Wow, I would land on 0, 0. This one tricked me the first time because of those half boxes. So E, yes, is proportional. E is PR, proportional relationship. Last one, F. What do you think? F is not proportional. It is straight, but it does not contain the point of origin. If I continued it all the way to the y-axis, it would cross about here, not here. Okay, so F, not true. Let's go ahead and review. I would just want to make sure you've got everything you need for your Google form. The ones that were proportional were B and C and E. Can you pause the video, please, and enter, go ahead and check B, C, and E. Awesome. All right, folks, that is it for our guided practice. I do want to give you a couple of reminders before your quiz today, okay? And they are here. Here are the skills from this week. Let me make this a little bigger. On your quiz, you're going to be asked to do all of these skills. So what I recommend that you do is find your notes from all of this week, find your work from your independent practice from all of this week, and make sure you can do all of these things, okay? We're going to find the constant of proportionality from a table. You guys are so good at that. We've practiced the 3 ways to do that. We're going to find the COP from a graph. You're really good at that. Find that ordered pair and do y divided by x, right? You can also put your ordered pair in a ratio table. You're also going to take your COP and use it to write an equation given a story or a graph. From a graph, find the COP and then put it in the form of an equation. Make sure your x, or the variable on the x-axis, is being multiplied to your COP, right? From a story, this one we haven't practiced quite as much, but it will be on your quiz. Just take a ratio from the story and put it in a table. Then write an equation from the table. You guys are really good at that. We're also determining if a relationship is proportional. That's what we did today from a table and from a graph. And what we did yesterday, we're going to interpret the meaning of points on a graph, okay? I recommend always that you create a ratio table. If you're just looking at a graph or you're just looking at a story especially, go ahead and transfer it into a ratio table because you 7th graders are so proficient at ratio tables. We all do better when we draw them. So take that extra moment to do that. If you're stuck, do that and you'll be able to figure it out and get the right answer. Okay, that's it for me, team. Good luck on your quiz today, and I'll be back here tomorrow with a color wheel to share with you. Bye.